My girlfriend said, "To my family, you're forbidden. Just pretend you're my friend tonight." I said, "Then tonight you lose me." I watched her try to introduce me as a coworker, and I left before dessert. By Monday, her brother was threatening me, her mother was apologizing, and I was changing my locks. Original post: I'm Cole, 32. Vanessa is 29. We were together a little over 2 years, living half in and half out of each other's places in Charlotte, and about 6 weeks away from signing a lease together. I work as a physical therapist at a sports rehab clinic. Vanessa worked in luxury property sales. We met at a charity 5K, got coffee after, and for the first year and a half everything felt easy. There was always one strange gap though. Her family. I knew the names. Her mother, Elise, her older brother, Grant, but I never properly existed around them. Birthdays always landed when I was working. Sunday dinners were suddenly immediate family only. Weddings became complicated. If I asked why, Vanessa always said her family was dramatic and old-fashioned, and she wanted to protect us until things were more settled. Settled never arrived. I let it go longer than I should have because everywhere else she acted committed. She kept clothes at my townhouse. I had a drawer at her condo. We took trips. We talked about dogs, neighborhoods, and kitchens for the place we planned to rent together. Every time my brain said this is weird, my heart said maybe not everyone handles family the same way. Then her cousin Bryce got engaged. Vanessa told me about the party 2 weeks ahead. Big family event at her aunt's house outside Davidson. Catered, formal, I assumed this was finally it, the normal step after 2 years. The day of the party she came to my place to get ready. Green dress, hair pinned up. She looked incredible. I was adjusting my cuffs when she went quiet behind me. That kind of quiet means bad news is about to sit down. She said, "I need you not to get upset." Then she said, "To my family, you're forbidden. Just pretend you're my friend tonight." I thought I misheard her. Forbidden. I asked what that meant. She said Grant had found out I was the son of the contractor who sued her uncle's development company years ago. Old local drama. Different people. Different generation. Apparently, her family decided my last name was a problem before they met me. On top of that, her mother had always pushed some family-approved guy named Preston. Vanessa said she didn't agree with any of it, but tonight wasn't the time to make a stand. Her solution was that I still go, smile, stay close, and let her introduce me as a coworker from a marketing firm who got invited last minute. I just stared at her. For 2 years I had defended the gap, explained it away, protected it with optimism, and here she was asking me to help her make it bigger. I asked how long she had known. She said a few months. That part hit harder than the word forbidden. Because all those family events, she said, were chaotic or bad timing. She had known. She just liked postponing consequences while keeping me comfortable enough to stay. She tried the soft voice. "Babe, it's one night. Once they meet you, I can fix this slowly." I stepped back and said, "Then tonight you lose me." She blinked and said, "Don't be dramatic." I said I wasn't being dramatic. I was being clear. "You don't get to hide me for 2 years and then ask me to help you do it better." That's when she switched to anger. She said I was making her choose between me and her family over one party. I said no, she made that choice months ago when she found out and kept quiet. She said I didn't understand pressure. I said maybe not, but I understood disrespect. Then she cried. Not because she was sorry, because I had stopped cooperating. I told her the relationship was over. I told her to take what she had at my place and leave the rest. I'd box it and send it through her concierge tomorrow. Calm voice. Even tone. She stood there like she still expected me to cave. Finally, she said, "If you embarrass me tonight by not coming, my family will ask questions." I said, "Good. Answer them honestly for once." Then I opened the bedroom door. She left. By midnight, I had 14 missed calls, 6 texts, and 1 voicemail about how I had ruined the biggest night in her cousin's life by making her arrive alone and upset. Notice what was missing. Any acknowledgement that she asked her boyfriend to cosplay as a stranger, because her family found his existence inconvenient. I boxed her things that night: dresses, heels, makeup, chargers, a framed photo from Asheville, and a silk robe she always left in my bathroom. The next morning I dropped the boxes at her building and texted one line: "Your belongings are with the concierge. Please do not come by." That should have ended it. Instead, it became a campaign. Update 1: by the second day, the flying monkeys had arrived. First came her friend Sienna. She texted that Vanessa was devastated and had spent most of the engagement party crying because I had misunderstood a family sensitivity. I replied once, "I did not misunderstand anything." She asked me to pretend I wasn't her boyfriend because her family disapproved of me. That is the issue. Sienna never responded. Then came Grant. Grant called from a blocked number at 714 in the morning and opened with, "You think you can punish my sister and walk away clean." So Vanessa had clearly edited the story. I asked if she had also mentioned asking me to attend as her coworker because her family considered me forbidden. He paused just long enough to tell me she had not. Then he recovered and gave me the family honor speech. Families have complicated histories. Men should be able to handle pride. If I cared about Vanessa, I would have helped her manage a difficult situation instead of abandoning her. Helped her manage, meaning absorb the humiliation quietly so she could stay comfortable on every side. I told him not to contact me again unless he wanted his threat saved and forwarded. He hung up. That afternoon, Vanessa sent an email titled, "Please don't reduce us to one night." It was polished manipulation. She loved me deeply. She had been trying to build a bridge between worlds. Her family was temporary. What we had was real. She said I was throwing away a future over an introduction and punishing her for circumstances she did not create. What she still would not say was simple: "I should have told you sooner. I was wrong. I didn't answer." I went to work, treated patients, finished my notes, and stayed late because being useful felt better than reliving it. Around 5, my clinic director asked if everything was okay because someone had called the front desk asking if I worked Saturdays and whether female patients requested me by name. That was enough for me to book a consultation with a lawyer a friend had used during a property dispute. Not because I thought I needed a restraining order that second, but because once family money and family pride enter a breakup, people start doing stupid things with confidence. The consultation the next morning cost $275. Worth it. Marisol, the attorney, told me to document everything, keep boundaries in writing, and avoid in-person meetings. If Grant kept escalating or Vanessa showed up at my home or work after being told not to, we could move from annoyed to formal quickly. Vanessa's mother called. I almost let it ring out, but I answered. Elise sounded tired rather than angry. She said Vanessa was a wreck and she wanted to clear up what she called a misunderstanding. I asked what version she had been given. Elise said Vanessa claimed I refused to attend the party because an old family dispute made me insecure and then overreacted when she tried to calm me down. So I told her the truth plainly. Your daughter asked me to attend your family event while pretending not to be her boyfriend because she said your family considered me forbidden. Silence. Then Elise asked, very quietly, she used that word. I said yes. She said she knew the family had been snobbish and stupid about my last name, but she did not know Vanessa had actually repeated it to me, much less asked me to play along. Then she said something I'll remember forever. A woman who is proud of you does not rename you at the door. That was the first honest thing anyone from Vanessa's side had offered. She did not defend Vanessa or ask me to take her back. She mostly sounded embarrassed that her daughter had dressed old prejudice up as conflict management. An hour later, Vanessa texted from a new number, "Why did you call my mother?" You know how she gets. I had not called her mother, which meant Elise confronted her and Vanessa immediately reached for blame. I blocked the number without replying. That night I went out for tacos with my friend Nalan and told him the whole story. He stared at me for a second and said, "So she wanted boyfriend benefits and witness protection at the same time." By the end of the week, I was sleeping better than I had in months. Update 2.5 weeks later, Vanessa moved from image control to theater. It started with flowers. Not to my house. To the clinic. White orchids. The card said, "Some loves are worth fighting bad families for." I photographed the card and added it to the folder for Marisol. 30 minutes later, Vanessa emailed saying she hoped the gesture showed she was finally ready to stand up for us. There was no us. There was only a woman trying to reverse engineer dignity after publicly proving she didn't have any for me. I replied once, exactly as Marisol suggested, "Do not contact me again except through counsel if necessary." That should have been enough. It wasn't. That Sunday I drove to a coffee shop near the Greenway to meet a woman named Harper, nurse practitioner. We'd matched a few days earlier and kept things light. I almost canceled because the breakup mess was still fresh, but she seemed normal and I wanted to remind myself the city contained people who did not introduce you by fake job title. Harper was already seated when I got there. 5 minutes into coffee, Vanessa walked in. Not coincidence. Full performance. Sunglasses on her head, phone in hand, fake surprise in her voice. "Cole, wow. So this is what moving on fast looks like." Harper looked at me. I looked at Vanessa and said, "This is exactly why I told you not to contact me." She laughed, loud enough for half the cafe to hear, and said she just wanted closure. Then she looked at Harper and said, "Ask him why he ended a 2-year relationship because my family was difficult." She skipped the key detail again, because of course she did. I stood, asked the manager to remove her, and waited. Vanessa kept talking while backing toward the door. Said I was cold. Said I enjoyed humiliating her. Said I would regret letting outsiders poison what we had. Outsiders. As if I had not been the outsider in my own relationship the entire time. Harper stayed calm. Once Vanessa was gone, she asked if she should leave too. I told her she could and I would understand. Instead, she said, "Honestly, the fact that you stayed calm makes me think you're telling the truth." We finished coffee. No huge spark, but she was kind, and that mattered more that day. I sent the cafe incident summary to Marisol that afternoon. 3 days later, Grant made his final stupid move. He showed up outside my townhouse around 9 at night, pounding on the door and telling me to come outside like a man. My doorbell camera caught everything. I stayed inside and called the non-emergency police line while he ranted about me embarrassing his sister, ruining family peace, and thinking I was better than them. Which was rich, considering the original complaint was apparently that I was beneath them. By the time officers arrived, he had moved from my porch to the curb, still loud, still stupid. I showed them the prior call log, the clinic flowers, the cafe incident, and the camera footage. They issued a trespass warning on the spot and advised me to pursue a harassment complaint if contact continued. The next morning, Elise called, mortified. Apparently Grant had been drinking, and Vanessa had told him I was parading new women around town just to hurt her. Elise apologized and then admitted something else. Vanessa had been keeping a family-approved guy named Preston warm at a few events before Bryce's party. Not officially dating, just leaving that door open in case I didn't work out. That explained everything. The secrecy. The delay. The endless maybe-later tone of our future. I thanked Elise for telling me. Then I called Marisol. We filed for a protective order by the end of that week. Not because I thought Vanessa was dangerous in a movie sense, but because patterns matter. Repeated unwanted contact, third parties showing up, workplace interference, home interference, public confrontation. That is not heartbreak. That is entitlement with a group chat. Somewhere in all of this, work got better. I was asked to take over a performance rehab program for 2 high schools after one of our senior therapists resigned. More hours, more pay, more autonomy. And because irony likes a spotlight, I ran into Harper again at a fundraiser about a week later. No drama. No ambush. We talked like adults and ended up having a much better second first date than the actual first one. Final update: the hearing was last month. Vanessa arrived in a cream blouse, soft makeup, and the exact expression of a woman hoping the room confused poise for innocence. Grant was there too, suddenly very contained beside his attorney face. Marisol came in with a binder thick enough to make a point before anybody sat down. The judge heard the timeline, the breakup, the family concealment demand, Grant's threatening call, the clinic contact, the flower delivery, the coffee shop ambush, the nighttime doorstep scene, the police trespass warning. When Marisol played the doorbell footage of Grant telling me to come outside if I wasn't scared, the room got very quiet. Vanessa's attorney tried the usual angle: emotions, miscommunication, painful breakup amplified by family conflict. Grant apologized for overstepping. Vanessa only wanted to repair things. The judge asked one direct question: did you ask the petitioner to attend your family event while pretending not to be your romantic partner? Vanessa said, I was trying to keep the peace. The judge said, that was not the question. She hesitated, then said yes. That one yes did more damage than all her careful paragraphs ever could. The temporary protective order was granted for 1 year. No direct or indirect contact. No showing up at my home or workplace. No using relatives or friends to relay messages. Grant's trespass warning stayed in effect. Outside the courthouse, Elise stopped me. She did not ask for another chance on Vanessa's behalf. She just said, I hope the next woman who loves you does it out loud. A month after the hearing, I heard through Nolan that Vanessa's connection with Preston fizzled almost immediately. Apparently, forbidden romance is exciting until the forbidden part disappears, and all that remains is the person. My life got smaller in the best ways. I repainted my bedroom, donated the extra wine glasses Vanessa insisted were necessary for entertaining people we never actually liked. Took a weekend trip to Asheville by myself, and realized solitude feels completely different when nobody is quietly ashamed of you. Work is good. The school rehab program is mine now and probably going permanent. Harper and I are dating, slowly and without performance. She introduced me to her friends after 2 weeks, which was almost funny. I kept waiting for some weird condition or disclaimer, but no. She said, this is Cole, and that was it. Looking back, the most insulting part was not even being called forbidden. It was being asked to participate in my own erasure like that was maturity. Like love meant helping somebody hide you more efficiently. Vanessa wanted me patient, loyal, available, and invisible whenever her world required it. She called that timing. She called that pressure. She called that protecting us. It was none of those things. It was cowardice with lip gloss. If somebody loves you, they do not ask you to shrink so their life stays convenient. They do not rename you at the door. They do not stash you in the friend category until the room feels safe. And if they do, believe the action, not the apology that arrives afterward. The right person may not fight every battle perfectly. People get scared, families get weird, life gets messy. But the right person will not hand you a fake identity and call it patience. They will stand beside you or lose the right to stand with you at all. Vanessa thought one party was a small thing. She was wrong. Small things reveal the structure. A lie at the front door usually means a bigger one is already living in the house. If you've ever been treated like a secret or told to make yourself smaller to be loved, tell me in the comments. Subscribe, like, and share if this hit home, and let me know whether you think I walked away at the right time.